You're lying in bed at night, silence, and then in the dark, two eyes. They glow, they stare straight at you, unblinking. This isn't a horror movie, this is your cat, a 3 kilogram creature you feed from a pouch and call adorable. But here's the truth. That purring ball of fluff on your lap is a perfect predator, a killing machine refined by 40 million years of evolution, with infrared night vision, retractable claws, a spine that bends like rubber tubing, and reflexes faster than any animal its size on the planet. A house cat hunts with an efficiency that would make lions nervous, and yet, despite all of that, it purrs. It rubs against your leg, it sleeps on your pillow. How did an apex predator become the world's most popular pet? Today, I'm giving you 100 facts, 100 reasons to look at the creature asleep on your couch completely differently. If you like discovering the world is stranger than you thought, subscribe now, because halfway through this one, there's a cat ability that sounds like science fiction, and scientists still argue about it. Cats are one of the most successful mammals in the planet's history. Roughly 600 million of them live on every continent except Antarctica. If cats formed a nation, it would be the third most populous on Earth. Every single one, from the Persian to the alley cat, descends from one wild species, the African wildcat, confirmed by genetic analysis in 2007. And here's the twist. Cats domesticated themselves. Unlike dogs, cows, or horses, which humans deliberately bred, cats simply showed up. About 9,500 years ago, humans in the Fertile Crescent began storing grain. Grain attracted mice, mice attracted cats, and cats moved in because it was convenient for everyone. The earliest known burial of a cat beside a human found on Cyprus and dated to that same period proves this. Since Cyprus had no native wildcats, someone deliberately carried a cat there by boat. And unlike dogs, which changed almost beyond recognition over 15,000 years of breeding, the cat's skeleton is nearly identical to its wild ancestors. It never needed improving. Now the anatomy. A cat has 230 bones to our 206, most of the extras packed into the spine and tail, giving it the flexibility to twist mid-air, squeeze through gaps the width of its own skull, and sleep in positions that look physically impossible. Its collarbone is vestigial, floating free in muscle rather than connecting to other bones, which is exactly why, if its head fits through a gap, the rest of the body follows. 30 vertebrae, each cushioned by elastic discs, let a cat rotate its front half nearly 180 degrees relative to its back half. And when it falls, a righting reflex, fully developed by 6 or 7 weeks of age, lets it flip feet down mid-air in a fraction of a second, faster than a single human blink. Stranger still, a 1987 study of 132 cats that fell from high-rise windows found that cats falling from above the 7th floor were often less injured than those falling from the 2nd through 6th, because past a certain height, a cat reaches terminal velocity, relaxes, and spreads its legs like a flying squirrel to increase air resistance. Its raw athletic numbers are absurd for something this size. Top speed, 48 kilometers an hour, faster than Usain Bolt's world record at a fraction of his body weight. A cat can jump 5 to 6 times its own body length scaled to a human that's clearing a third-story window from a standing start. Its whiskers are precision sensory organs spaced exactly as wide as its body, functioning as a built-in ruler. If the whiskers clear a gap, the body will too. Some whiskers even sit on the back of its front legs, helping it feel the movements of prey it's already holding. Its tongue is covered in backward curving keratin hooks that researchers discovered in 2018. Each hold a tiny scoop of saliva for deep cleaning fur down to the skin, a design humans later copied into actual hairbrushes. And a cat spends up to half its waking hours grooming, because that ritual doubles as a cooling system, since it barely sweats at all except through its paw pads. Diet reveals just how uncompromising this animal really is. Cats can't taste sweetness at all. The gene for it is simply switched off because an obligate carnivore never needed it. And obligate is the right word. A cat physically cannot survive as a vegetarian. Without taurine, found only in animal tissue, its heart swells and fails, and its retinas degenerate until it goes blind. This hunting drive comes at a real ecological cost. A landmark 2013 study estimated that cats kill between 1.4 and 3.7 billion birds and up to 20.7 billion small mammals every year in the US alone, enough for the IUCN to list the house cat among the world's 100 most damaging invasive species. Its hunting success rate, around 32%, actually beats a lion's. Its senses operate on another level entirely. It hears frequencies from 55 up to 79,000 hertz, well into ultrasound, using ears each controlled by 32 muscles that rotate 180 degrees independently, scanning the space around it like radar dishes. Its eyes are proportionally so large that, scaled to a human face, they'd be the size of tennis balls, backed by a reflective layer called the tapetum that lets it see in a sixth of the light we'd need. Pitch darkness to us is dusk to a cat. It sees blues and greens, but not red, through vertical pupils that a 2015 Berkeley study showed are specifically shaped for ambush predators judging horizontal distance, and it can even perceive ultraviolet light, meaning it sees urine trails, flower patterns, and markings on other animals that are completely invisible to us. Even its nose print is unique, no two alike, fingerprint level identification. Communication is where things get genuinely strategic. Cats use around 100 distinct sounds to dogs' 10, and meowing specifically is manipulation. Kittens meow to summon their mother, adult wild cats stop entirely, but domestic cats keep going because it works on us. A 2009 Sussex University study even found cats have engineered a specific solicitation purr that embeds a high-frequency note resembling a human infant's cry, one our brains are wired to respond to with urgency. The cat found a frequency human instinct can't ignore. Purring itself remains one of biology's open questions. Competing theories involve rhythmic muscle contractions in the larynx or specialized pads in the vocal folds discovered as recently as 2023, but its frequency, 25 to 50 Hz, overlaps with frequencies used medically to speed bone and tissue healing, suggesting purring may function as a kind of self-administered physical therapy, since cats purr when injured or giving birth, not just when content. Even the slow blink is a real signal. In a predator's world, closing your eyes near another creature means, I trust you enough to be vulnerable, and a 2020 study confirmed cats blink back more when a human blinks slowly at them first. Kneading with the paws traces back to nursing as kittens, a comfort behavior carried into adulthood, and rubbing against you isn't affection alone. Scent glands on the face and tail mark you as belongs to me. The engineering keeps compounding. A cat can go from standing still to full speed in 3 strides, powered by muscle mass that makes up 40% of its body, versus roughly a third in humans. Its claws work like spring-loaded knives, held retracted by elastic ligaments and pushed out only when needed, staying razor-sharp because they never touch the ground while walking. It places its back paws exactly where its front paws just were, minimizing sound and visible tracks, which is why you never hear a 4-kilogram predator walking directly behind you down a hallway. Its resting heart rate, 120 to 140 beats a minute, keeps it permanently primed for explosive movement, and its body temperature, 38 to 39 degrees, explains why it's obsessed with radiators, laptops, and sunny patches of floor. It sleeps 12 to 16 hours a day, sometimes 20, yet 70% of that sleep is light enough to snap out of instantly. And yes, cats dream, a famous 1965 experiment that disabled the muscle paralysis normally active during REM sleep, showed sleeping cats standing up and stalking, pouncing on, and catching prey that wasn't there. Cognitively, cats are sharper than most people give them credit for. Their working memory holds information for around 16 hours, compared to about 5 minutes in dogs. They distinguish larger food portions from smaller ones, track up to 3 hidden objects at once, and a 2016 Kyoto University study found they even show surprise when an object defies gravity. Evidence they intuitively understand basic physics. And the fact I promised you, cats have found their way home across hundreds of kilometers, a phenomenon called psi trailing. Some researchers point to magnetite crystals discovered in feline brain tissue in 2004, suggesting cats may carry a built-in magnetic compass. The mechanism is still disputed, but the crystals are real, and the return stories are documented. Cats also appear to sense earthquakes hours or days in advance across Japan, Turkey, and Italy, likely picking up on faint tremors or electrical changes seismologists take seriously, and they genuinely know their own names. Per a 2019 Tokyo study, even when they choose not to respond, they also form real emotional bonds. A 2019 Oregon State study, published in a major biology journal, found 64% of cats show the same secure attachment style toward their owners that children show toward parents, relaxed when present, distressed when absent. A 2015 Oakland University study found cats respond to human facial expressions, approaching more when we smile, retreating when we frown. Their tail position functions as a running emotional broadcast, and their 60-plus body postures form a whole visual language most humans never learn to read. One 2019 study found only about 15% of people can accurately interpret feline facial expressions. History has taken this animal to strange extremes. In ancient Egypt, killing a cat carried the death penalty, and mummified cats have been found by the thousands. In medieval Europe, the mass slaughter of cats associated with witchcraft is historically linked to a surge in rats that helped fuel the Black Death. In Japan, the beckoning cat figurine has stood at shop entrances for centuries as a good luck charm. A cat named Félicette rode a French rocket 157 kilometers into space in 1963 and came home alive, a monument finally built in her honor decades later. A ship's cat named Simon survived shrapnel wounds during a 1949 naval siege on the Yangtze River and kept hunting rats to protect the crew's food supply, earning Britain's highest animal wartime honor. And a cat named Oscar, living in a nursing home, became known for lying down beside patients hours before they died, predicting more than 50 deaths over 6 years through a mechanism nobody fully understands. The health effects run both ways. A meta-analysis of 21 studies found cat ownership linked to reduced stress, anxiety, and depression, and a University of Minnesota study tracking over 4,000 people for a decade found cat owners were 30% less likely to die of heart attack or stroke. But cats also carry Toxoplasma gondii, a parasite infecting roughly 30% of the world's population. Usually harmless, though some researchers have linked chronic infection to subtle behavioral changes, an idea that remains genuinely debated. Records push the extremes further. The oldest cat ever documented lived 38 years. A cat named Dusty gave birth to 420 kittens across her lifetime, a reminder of exactly why unchecked breeding is a real problem, not a talking point. A single unspayed pair and their descendants could theoretically produce hundreds of thousands of kittens within 7 years. A cat named Stubbs served as honorary mayor of an Alaskan town for 20 years, and wild relatives of the house cat, Scottish wildcats, European wildcats, Chinese mountain cats, are now declining largely because they're interbreeding with domestic cats and losing their genetic distinctiveness, meaning the modern house cat is quietly erasing its own wild cousins without knowing it. And maybe that's the real story here. Unlike a dog genetically reshaped over millennia toward obedience and cooperation, a cat has kept nearly every instinct its wild ancestors carried. It hunts, it marks territory, it chooses every single time whether to come to you or not. You don't own a cat, you live with one on its terms. Every time it walks over and lies down beside you, that's not obedience, not training. That's a choice made fresh every day. 10,000 years ago, it walked up to our fire and simply decided to stay. Not because we commanded it, because it chose to. And every time it purrs in your hands, it's making that same choice all over again. If any of these 100 facts changed how you see the animal curled up next to you right now, tell me which one in the comments and let me know what you'd want broken down like this next, because the next one is going to surprise you just as much.